Good morning. This is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Hope everyone has had a great weekend, recharged their batteries, and are having a great start to the week. So before we get started, let's just take a look at our S&P 500 map. I had switched it, so I'm going to change it back. Now we're going to share the screen. Most things are green. Microsoft is up 1.9%. NVIDIA, all the semiconductors are up. Google, Meta, stuff, consumer defenses. It's kind of interesting because the bond yields are rising as well. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit. And so there you have the screen. Apple is the only big tech that is down. Target is down slightly. And AbbVie is down. So there we have that. I'm going to share our screen. I show this every day because we don't know where the market is headed. Most people should have an annuity, I believe. That's my opinion. You can sleep better at night. A lot of people have been talking about index investing. It's beating, but as you can see, the annuity average growth beats index investing by about 5%. You go up a step, you do not come down the step, whereas indexes bob and weave with how the market is doing. So goes up, and your 401k does not become a 201k, as many people have said, in reaction to 2000, 2002, and 2008. And where the bond yields go and how far our indexes go down is yet to be determined. So there you have that. And now I'm going to bring up my screen. And Vertiv Holdings, one of the stronger stocks. It's like it's working on a handle here. Cup with a handle. But let's go and take a look at our dollar. Dollar is having a pullback to its 10-day moving average. We'll just see if it can get a breakout. We got looks like a big move up. Pull back to the weekly. Our chart is moving pretty slow. There's a weekly. Yeah, we got a big cup formation forming. It hit a high here and sold off. Let's see, this is back in November of last year, right before the stock market pulled back. So let's take a look at how this is affecting our gold pricing. Gold is pulling back as well today. That's pretty interesting. Dollar's pulling back and gold is pulling back. Did have a big move on Friday. It gapped up and moved up pretty strong. Got above its 50-day moving average and bumped its head on its 200. Take a look at silver. It's got a slight pullback here. Question is if it's going to fill this gap here and then trend higher. Did fill this other gap here, pull back a little bit, and it's moved higher. So we'll continue to watch that. In copper, I'm just still wondering if Arrow Copper has hit bottom or not. Southern Copper didn't quite have a double bottom here. So we'll see if it can get back to its 200-day moving average. and FCX. Very similar to Southern Copper. There's the 10-year Treasury bills. As you can see, it gapped up pretty strong today. It's at its high. It's pretty interesting that the market averages are up. For 20-year, doing about the same. What a gap up that one is. That is just massive. It's now above 4.12%. The VIX tried to move higher and pull back. My feeling is that it's still going to go above this number. It was at 2065. So we'll see if we do get a bounce as Treasury bills yields continue to rise. And let's see, S&P 500 up a little over 1% today. RSP up 1.3% today. So it really needs to get above this 20-day moving average. See if this remains as a ceiling, continue to push it down. Kind of an average volume here. S&P 500 really needs to get above 50-day moving average. And we'll see if it gets rejected again from that area. Our NASDAQ is definitely bouncing off of the 50-day moving average today, up 1.33%. We'll look at the equal weight. Hasn't quite got above its 50-day moving average. It's taking out the dominance of the big techs in the NASDAQ. And look at that IWM. Russell is up 1.6465%, up pretty strong today. Still got a lot of work to do. Hit bottom over here. We'll just see if this is a bottom yet, or if it continues lower. I believe there's a lot of banks out there that are kind of in their position with these interest rate hikes. So we'll just have to see where that goes. Dow Jones, our weakest area, but it is bouncing off its 200-day moving average. Had huge volume on Friday. It's just kind of continuing on today. So let's take a look at some of our trending ETFs. ExxonMobil is up slightly. Key component in our energy. Looks like it's bouncing off the 50-day moving average. Oil has got a slight pullback. Take a look at Weatherford, continues up. The volume has been pulling back a little bit here, but looks like a double bottom. We've cleared the middle of the W. Here's the W, double bottom, then up. Looked at some tankers last week. TK Tankers was up big on Friday. Got a pullback today. And International Seaways is holding up a little better. You can see we got a little double base on base. We got a cup with a handle. Let's see if I can get some volume and move out of there. And the other one was Frontline, which has moved up and out. So let's look at our financials. Moving up slightly. Communication should be up. Both Google and Meta up today. Google is up slightly. And Meta is up slightly as well. But it has moved on up. Well, the first time I looked at it this morning was 319. Now it's above 320. Peak was 329. Look at biotechs. Continue to try to fight off the bottom. Both of biotech ETFs look very similar. Software looks like they got a bounce, gapped up today off of 50-day moving average. Tech bouncing as well off of 50-day moving average. Semiconductors, all of these areas are doing about the same. Airlines, have they hit bottom? That's the big question. Industrials, they're not moving quite as much as the Dow Jones were today. Building materials, up slightly. Mining and metals, looks like they got a good bounce. They need to get a clear this congestion over here. Get above these lines. And they're building. Home builders, you would expect them to be down, but they're up today. So everything is beating expectations today. Now let's go to our news. World news, Iran sent a message to Israel on Saturday stressing that it does not want further escalation in the Hamas-Israel war, but it will have to intervene if Israel's Operation in Gaza continues. So we'll see if this confrontation spreads. Lululemon is in the news. It will replace Activision Blizzard in S&P 500 after Microsoft agrees to acquire Activision Blizzard. And we got a huge move today, up massively. People try to buy in and be a part of the index there. Qatar Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani is withdrawing his offer to buy soccer club Manchester United. And Manchester United is gapping down today, as you might expect. On to energy, industrials, and materials. Albemarle scrapped his proposed $4.16 billion takeover of Liontown Resources, citing the difficulty of completing the deal following intervention of Australian billionaire Gina Rinehart's Hancock Prospecting after taking a 19.9% equity stake in Liontown. And Albemarle is up slightly. On the news, PCTI reached an agreement to be acquired by Amphenol, APH, an all-cash transaction that values the company about $139.7 billion. And just take a look at APH. As you can see, this is, see if we can bring this up on a weekly. Got gapped way up here in this green area. Huge move. And APH is up slightly on the news. Having a little trouble reading my screen here. So 10-cent is up strong. It backed J&T Global Express in the latest logistics-related company seeking to tap investors' appetite in Hong Kong with a $3.92 billion Hong Kong dollar, which is looks like 500 million share offering. S&P mid-cap constituent Hubble will replace Oregon and Company. It's up, got some pretty good volume there. And Organon is down heavily today. S&P small cap constituent Orto Innovation will replace Hubble. And they are down pretty heavily today. Max on cellular downgraded to neutral from buy. Bank of America and cut its price target to $12, down from 31. Wow. And well, it's been trading lower all the way, so it's in a pretty heavily downtrend. Let's see if it can get to 12. On the financials, Bank of America reported charge-offs for September of 2.09% versus 2.1% in August. Delinquency reported at 1.3 versus 1.26 last month. JP Morgan reported charge-offs for 1.6 versus 1.68 in August. Barron's noted insurance bounced back and expected rising premiums to allow companies to rebuild earnings surpluses and capital. Some of those companies are Arch Capital Group, moving up quite a bit. Chubb Limited moving up on the news. Everest Group Limited breaking out. Huge move there. W.R. Berkley moving up strongly as well. MetLife not as big a move as you would expect. And Gallagher continues its strong move on this news. On to healthcare. Pfizer late Thursday slashed its full year 23 revenue guidance to 588 to 58 to 61 billion from prior 67 to 70 billion. Their shares are up, though 3.5% today. Shares of German partner Bio and TX gapping down on the news that COVID makers are having trouble getting people to go in for another shot. Moderna gapping down today, 8.6%. Novamax down about 7%. CVS Health announced several leadership updates effective immediately. Executive Vice President, CFO, and President of Health Services, Sean Gerken, will be taking a leave of absence from his role due to an unforeseen family health reasons. Senior Vice President of Corporate Finance, Tom Cowie, COWHEY, has been appointed interim CFO. Elevance Health said the percentage of Medicare Advantage members of affiliated health plans and 4-star or higher rated plans is expected to drop 34% versus 64% based on the 2023 results. And amazing, their stock is up big time today on huge volume. And Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy Sunday as it faces billions of dollars of debt related to opioid lawsuits. And they're unchanged. On to technology, media, and telecom. Apple shares are down. They're fighting back after Bloomberg reported a study from market tracker Counterpoint Research estimated sales of the company's new iPhone 15 are down 4.5% compared to the iPhone 14 over the first 17 days after release. And finally, Crown Castle downgraded to sector perform from outperform at RBC Capital, and their stock was down earlier, and now they have come back fighting the good fight. So that's what we got there.
He also has a defense that's going to get the football back, right? Get stops.
Take a look what other issues are moving in the I looked at Lululemon earlier. Corona system gapping up, huge move, massive volume. Looking at 23% earnings growth in 2023, 26 in 2024. Relative strength line just hit a new high. So obviously there's a lot of professional money managers continue to buy this issue as it looks like it's breaking out with looks like a pretty much a flat base formation. MicroStrategy, which has a lot of Bitcoin, was moving up earlier. It's up 3%, but it is on the bottom of its range here. Huge volume. Take a look at what Bitcoin is doing today. Bitcoin is up pretty strong, up 7%. Ethereum, not up as much, but definitely has a better chart pattern than Bitcoin. SAP up 1.34% and pretty good volume. 2023 is going to be a down 21% next year, up 31%. Vertex Pharmaceuticals continues working on its breakout. Commercialized therapies and treatment of cystic fibrosis. Got some pretty good volume. 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. Only really 1 day above average selling in the last month or so. Hubble is up just slightly. It's still kind of staying in this range, not much of a move. Ferrari working on a double bottom move, continues to move up 1% today. Had huge volume on Friday and some pretty good volume today. We got 3 out of the last 5 days, moving up pretty well. Progressive gapped up on Friday, continues this move today. Earnings up 845%, 10% earnings surprise. They were expecting 330% earnings improvement this year and another 50% next year. That's a stock that money managers want to get in. And here we have the drone maker, Aero Environment, continue to shine. Look at all these blue bars over here. Huge volume, up big. I'm not sure. I am looking at this IPO that we talked about earlier. So it's like the institution. We just have to see if the institutional due diligence phase is over. I like this company long term. Looks like they've broken out of this downward base here. See if this is the first base coming out of due diligence, up 3.5% today. Their earnings were up 400% on quarter ended June 30th. Next EPS is 11.29. Take a look at who is investing in them. Lord Abbott has a position, 0.77%. Federated Home, Invesco Discovery, Alger Small Cap, Hero Price, Fidelity Contrafund. So that's kind of a look at some of the money managers who are investing in this company. I've been trying to put in a option on this one, trying to be filled, but so that's where I am there. Look at BLTE. Another issue that we continue our focus on. That sell-off got under 30 here. It's being supported and it's moving up big time today. It's up 3.19%. This is the issue for macro degeneration of the eyes for 2 different causes. They're working on, I believe it's a 4-stage, and then they're going to apply to the FDA for approval. Be a 1 pill that people with these conditions can take and pretty much do not have any competitors. So got this range right over here. Looks like it's broken out of this range, pretty huge volume. Only 1 big volume on selling. And that day it was still above the 50% mark for the day. So that's a positive. Looks like we have a double bottom here. Came down here, came up, and then came down. It's cleared the double bottom. So that's what we're looking at on Delete Bio. Some of the other issues that we had talked about last couple of weeks. We had this range down here. when all the other big techs were going down. Meta stayed in this range. Really like the $300 number. It said this keeps on. I believe this could break out. It broke out over here, went up to 329, had a little bit of a pullback. Maybe it's developing a saucer with a handle. Let's continue to watch that one. NVIDIA. We got the big AI chips. We'll see if it can bounce, see if these issues can stay strong in the midst of the high yields moving up. And Microsoft poured a bunch of money into AI. So it's trying to move up out of here, see if it can clear this 340 area. Once again, it looks like we got a double bottom formation here. Needs to be 340.96, 10 cents above the previous high here. And we'll see if it can get up through there. Need some more volume coming into the issue to really doubly move up. Earnings are up, expected to be up 12% next year and 15% the following year. And that's going to be our report for today. Thanks for tuning in for Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes. Hope everybody continues working on their goals. Keep up your activities. You'll surprise yourself and others. If you have any questions about your financial goals, feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward to having you on board for Taco Tuesday tomorrow. Be well.